How's it going, everybody? Thanks for stopping by my channel today. My name is Daryl, and finally, after about 2 weeks, I'm back out in the shop again. It's been cold here. We've had ice storm and a snowstorm, so I decided to just hang out in the house and try to keep warm for the last couple of weeks. It's warming up a little bit now, so I got the heat on in the shop. So I decided to come out here and tinker around a little bit with a project that I pushed off to the side, and there's been some new life bred into it. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what's going on. All right, we're back here in front of the MSF5000. We kind of pushed this thing off for a while I did other things, but there's been some new life pushed back into it again. How about that? So I got contacted by someone who had watched the other couple of videos that I made on this and offered to give me some help. And his name is Brian, K0BSJ. And he's put quite a few of these back online again. So he offered to give me some help and some pointers on this. And I decided to roll it back out here where I could work on it again and get some things done on it. So let's look down here. And we're looking at the RF tray down here. And this is the uni board. Receive VCO, transmit VCO. This is the IPA and the injector over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this IPA or this uni board out of here, and we're going to recap it. He suggested that we go through and recap all this. And that was probably something I would have done anyway. These older units like this, these older Motorola radios, the caps a lot of times will leak on them, so you need to get them out of there and refresh them with some new caps. So at some point I'll probably come up here to the control tray too, and we got some electrolytic caps up here that probably need to be changed as well. So let's pull this thing out of here, and we'll get it up on the bench, and we'll do some recapping today. Alright, I just want to touch on a couple of things before I pull this out of here. Now, if you look in the manual, it'll say, to remove screws that hold this thing down. On my particular board here, there's no screws. There's these little nubs that stick out of here that align the board when you put it in. And there's no screws involved with any of this. They had some sort of rubber or plastic I don't know what you would call them, like little grommets or tubes or whatever you want to call it, pushed down over the top of these, and they would hold this board down. But over the years they dry rotted, and when I went to take them out, they just crumbled. So there's not much to taking this out. Do not pull it out. Now you're going to be pulling it out by these little handles. You can see it's already a little bit loose, and so you're going to be pulling it out by these two handles here. Do not pull it by these two, okay? Because these just keep these shields on, so you can pull these shields off. Don't pull it out by that, all right? So I already have this loose a little bit for me, but we also have to come in here and we have to disconnect all this in here, okay? Because we can't get them out without removing these. So just be real careful what you're pulling on and how much force you're putting on when you take this stuff apart. And I might not be able to, sorry if I'm in your way. Alright, I got one more here to go. Alright, so this board will come right back out. What else we stuck? Oh, we got to pull the plugs here. So let's get that out of there. Alright, so now we got it loose. And we'll take this thing up to the bench and have a look at it. Alright, I have the uni board up here on the bench. And you can see that there's quite a few electrolytic capacitors that we'll need to change here. And I believe there's one or two underneath this RF shield here, so I'll have to remove that. So that'll have to come out of there. And I assumed it's soldered in there. So we'll have to see what I need to do to remove that. And then I can already see, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, because the camera is not that great, but I got a cap leaking right here. And let's see, I'll look around a little bit. And don't know if any of these are. This one's definitely leaking. Let's look around a little bit and see what we see. Oh, this one's leaking. This one's leaking here. Right there, it's leaking. And let's see, I'm sure there's more. As I get into it and start pulling them, I'm sure I'm going to find a lot that are leaking. I think this one over here might be leaking. Yeah, this one here is probably leaking too. You can see that one. So yeah, so I probably will not video any of this because it's going to be a long process. And I can see this one here. It's a good thing I got this thing out of here. This one here is leaking and it's still wet on the board here. It hasn't messed anything up yet, but I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually liquid on the board itself where this thing is leaked out onto the board. So we need to get that cleaned up and repaired, and that'll make this thing hopefully back to new again. We'll see. We'll see. There's probably a lot more to do, but let's get these caps out of here. All right, I just wanted to give you a little better view of this uni board. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Yeah, see the liquid there? It's right over here. See that on there? So it's a good thing we got this out of there and getting this job done today. So let me work on this. I'm going to replace these over here first. Maybe this section here, this half over, I'll replace these and I'll come back. All right, I thought I'd give you a little update where I'm at here. So I've gotten these replaced. I've gotten these. This one here was leaking pretty bad. This one was leaking. Let's see. This one was leaking too. So I've got these 6 replaced. Now I'm going to come over here to this part of the board here and work on these. Get those out of there. I don't think there. I'm not sure if there's one leaking over here or not. There looks to be some flux or something on the board. I don't know. And this one here is really bad. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's pretty bad there. So I'm glad I'm getting these out of here. So let me go back to work again. The ones that are got the black dot on them are the ones that I need to change yet. And of course the ones that don't are the ones that I have changed. So we're just getting along here, and we'll get these done and get this board back in there again. So let me get back to work and I'll check in again when I get maybe these done and out of here. I'll come back again. Yeah, there's a lot of cleanup to do on the board. You want to get all the fluid that leaked out of the caps. You want to get that completely cleaned up, and you want to get anything that's embedded into the trace or into the pad out of there and get it all cleaned up. And that way you don't have to worry about this stuff eating away at the board or the trace or the pad or anything. So it takes a little while. That's why I'm not videoing it, because it'd be a 2-3 hour video. So let me get back to work again, and I'll check in again when I get these these 2 sets over here out of there, and I'll check back in. All right, another little check in here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 out. This was a mess over here with leaking caps, and I see this one over here is absolutely bad. In fact, it ate off one of its legs, so that's not good. So these are just about cleaned up enough to reinstall the new caps, and then I'll move over to this area here and try to clean this up some. This is a mess right here. It's going to take me a while. Hopefully there's no damage of the pads, and I can get it cleaned back up again. But when I start taking them apart over here, I really noticed how bad everything really is here. All this was leaking in here, and then over here I saw this one's super bad. So we're getting there. These 3 here look kind of okay there, but they're all on the verge of leaking. And then these 2 under here, and of course I think we got 1 or 2 underneath the cap here, under this RF shield here. So we'll keep moving along, and I'm getting them one by one cleaned up and replaced. So we'll just keep moving along until we get them all done. I've got everything done. I took these two, I got the shield off of it. I got the shield off. So there's two here that need to be replaced. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, this camera doesn't really focus too tight, too close, but if you can see down here, let me back it up. I'm hoping it's not out of focus. All the erosion down here from the bad caps. So pretty near. Every single cap I took off was leaking. Not too bad. I've been cleaning all the pads back up again and getting everything cleaned up and neutralizing the acid. But I just have these two left to go, and then the whole board is done. But it's been quite a while. You know, it's taken me quite a while to get everything cleaned up and replaced. So hopefully we won't have any trouble with this for a while. And it doesn't look like anything was destroyed. So like I said, I'm just kind of scraping a little bit, scraping lightly, getting things cleaned up, neutralizing the acid from the caps, and cleaning everything up real good, and get some fresh solder on these pads, and we'll get this done. So I'm almost done with it. Let me get these two more on and get the shield back on again, and then I'll come back. I have gotten all the caps replaced on the Uniboard. I put the RF shield back on again. Everything's done. There's our pile of caps. So I can install this Uniboard back into the repeater, into the RF tray, and then we'll get the IPA board out, and we will recap that. Well, I pulled the IPA board out of the RF tray, and so our next job is to replace these three tantalum caps, and I have my replacements here. So I'll be able to use my new tweezers to do that. So I'll pull these three out and get them replaced, and I'll come back. We'll put this thing back in there and then take the other board, the last board we need, out. So when I do that, I'll of course replace this thermal paste down there too. And these screws seem to be captured in here somehow, so I couldn't get them off this part. So it is what it is. I can work on it. As long as I can get it up here to the bench to work, that'll be fine. So let me switch these out, and then we will work on that other last board. Okay, we'll put a little bit more heat onto it. I might have to put a little bit of solder on here first. Let's see here. A little solder in. See what that does. One side up. Well, not there. If you get into a position like that where you got one side off and you don't want to keep prying on it, let me see if I can find my tweezers here. Hold on one second. Oh, I'll find them. There we go. We'll just heat up the other end and get it off of there that way. I don't like prying on stuff. There we go. That looks pretty good. Let's put a little bit more solder down there. Where in the world? I tell you, I'm having a hard time finding what I'm looking for. Okay. And I'm still getting used to operating these tweezers. Sometimes they turn off on me when I'm not expecting it. Oops, my finger down on there. There we go. There we go. We got all three of them off. Everything looks good. All right, let me clean this board up and we will put the new ones on. Got the board all nice and cleaned. Or not clean, but we got the pads cleaned up. So now I need just to clean up the flux that's on here. Get that cleaned up. That's looking pretty good. All right, so let me get these capacitors set to go on here, and then we'll put them on. Okay, I got one laid out here on the board. And again, I lost my tweezers. Here they are. Boy. Let's take that off for now. And we'll put a little bit of flux down here. Doesn't take a lot. We'll get these as straight as we can. Looks good. Okay. Now these are polarized, you have to remember. So we're looking for the mark on the tantalum is the positive lead. So this one here, it goes on these two pads will go this way. Let's put a little bit of more flux on. Like I said, don't take much. Sometimes the flux will help hold it down to the board. All right. Come on, Daryl. You want to make sure you get it pretty even because you want to have enough pad there to solder to. And occasionally that happens. Let's try that again. Well, I don't like it, so let's clean that up a little bit. Yeah. Oh well. We'll get it. Let's clean this pad up a little bit. Okay. I should have put a smaller tip on this pen here. Come on. The main thing is just take your time. There's no need in being in a big hurry. This one's being a little bit stubborn. There we go. Don't be so stubborn. Okay, looks pretty good. It's a little lopsided there, but it is what it is. All right. And we'll clean this solder up when we're, or the solder paste will clean up when we're done here. There. So it might be a little tough to get into. Okay. Now we'll clean the board up, and then we will I'll clean all of this. Well, I'll go stop the camera so I can get this done. I'll clean the board up, and I'll get this solder paste cleaned up and replaced, and I'll put this board back in. So for all intents and purposes, we got our new tantalums in. I'll give this a good look over before I put it back in there again. Okay, I have the injector board here, the injector amplifier board, to be more exact. And you can see we have one electrolytic on the board here. So I'm going to remove this one here. And then I think we have everything that needs to be replaced on the RF board done, or the RF part of the tray completed. So this is a 10 microfarad 35 volt. I have an exact replacement here for it. So let me get that in there. I don't want to sit here and try to video it because it'll take me too long, because I'm cleaning everything up as I go, and I'm gonna at least spend 20 minutes probably on this one, getting it out plus cleaning everything up and making sure there's nothing left behind. This one doesn't look like it's leaking. Well, it doesn't look too good, let's put it that way. So I want to make sure that I clean this all up, and then we'll put the new one in. So let me do that, and then I'll be right back. Our injector board is all recapped and ready to go back in. So let me go down there. I'll slide all these boards back in, and we'll come and look at the board. We'll look at that whole assembly there. Alright, I got all the 3 boards back in place, all the connections made. So I guess what you do next when you do something like this is you go over here and you plug it in and see if anything blows up. So far, everything looks like it's booting all right. All right. So I don't see anything smoking. So pretty good there. I guess that's a good thing. Well, I turned the radio on here, and it's on 146.8, which is our idling frequency. And you can see that we're back alive again by the S meter here. No more squealing. We got full power on the for idling. So what idling is the receiver and the transmit VCO are always powered, and that's what you're hearing right now. So that's a good sign. So I hope you can see that. This camera doesn't really focus that close, so sorry about that. But yeah, I like it. So we're ready to move on to the next step here, and what that'll be is we're waiting in the mail from Brian to send, he offered to send some new firmware chips for the firmware EEPROMs for the control board, and I believe they go right there. At least one does, and it might be one chip, I don't know. Well, when that comes, I'll make another video and we'll move forward with that. But right now, we got something that we didn't have before, and you know what that is? A heartbeat. Well, I've got everything put back together, and the tray, the drawer slid back in, and I'll leave the power on for a while, and just to make sure that everything's going to be okay. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. So we're moving forward on this thing. Well, I'm kind of excited about getting this baby running and getting back on track again with it. So we'll wait for those that firmware to show up, and we'll put that in there. And I'll make another video of installing that. And just move forward from there. I still have to do a complete alignment on it, but everything's looking like it's pretty good. I'm not hearing any squeal in the audio anymore. I got what seems to be full power for our idle frequency. So everything's looking pretty good. So yeah, how about that? So what do you think about these old machines now? Would you spend your time and money and effort getting them running? I love them. I do. I love getting the old machinery back running again. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a radio or old lawnmower or whatever. Bringing them back to life again. I do love doing that kind of stuff. So anyway, until next time, thank you for all my subscribers. I'm getting really close to 1,100. That's pretty cool. And I certainly do appreciate everybody who stops by and looks at my videos and leaves a comment, thumbs up. Yeah, leave a comment. I like answering those, and like I got some positive responses for things that I've done. And yeah, if it wasn't for a comment, I would never have be getting these this firmware. So thank you very much for everybody who watches the channel, and we will see you again next time.